What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Stef ABtv, and behind me you will see the brand new 2019 facelift Gen 3 Audi TT 2.0 TFSI 45. That's a bit of a handful, isn't it?
So here we are, guys. I find myself here in the new Audi TT Gen 3 245 bhp model. But first thing first, if you are new to the channel and this is the first video you're watching, my name's Stef. I do automotive lifestyle content. Please make sure to subscribe. I go on loads of press trips. I'm fortunate to meet loads of cool people and drive loads of cool cars like this. Now, specifically this car, the Audi TT 240 horsepower 45 TFSI. Now that in itself is a relatively confusing model name because Audi have recently changed the name of their models. So the new models kind of range from the number 30 all the way through to the number 70. This is a 45, so it falls within that power band of up to 245 bhp. But it's all very confusing. Now here's something interesting for you. If you look at the Generation 2 Audi TT, and I'm particularly paying attention to the TT RS, that did a 0 to 60 time, and I think it was around 4.6 seconds, which is really quick. Now this, being a TT 2-litre TFSI, which means there is still a TTS and there is still a TTRS model ahead of this, this still produces a 0 to 60 time of 5.2 seconds. Like, that's really quick. And obviously this is a quattro system. It's a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, which obviously has the S-tronic gearbox. Audi have kind of proven this through and through in all of their cars, that this kind of Haldex system 4x4 S-tronic gearbox, it just works. So why change it if it works? Because it's cracking. Right, that's enough of that. I think what we'll do now is we're going to take this thing for a bit of a drive and see what it feels like, to be fair. I think one of the interesting things with the TT model, as it, you know, the TTs in general, is that the earlier TTs suffered from an image problem. And when I talk about an image problem, I talk about the fact that these cars were associated with hairdressers. And I don't know where that came from, but if you look at the TTs of old versus this, they're a lot more cute, I think is the right word. Whereas this looks a hell of a lot more aggressive. Like, it's without a doubt that Audi have they're trying to evolve the TT as a model, but also give it that oomph that it deserves. I mean, when you're talking about TTRSs that are doing 0 to 60 times in sub 4 seconds, you know, the last thing that you want is to kind of be associating that car with a hairdresser's car. And there's nothing against hairdressers. The lines on this car are a lot more sharper. They've removed so many of the curves that you had in the older generations, which did give it that softer look. The lines are a lot sharper here. You've got a lot more aggressive body parts. The front bumper alone just looks angry. The headlights are very sharp. And it, as an overall package, it just looks good. A wide car, you know, squatted down. I think they're doing a good job with it. Now, the other thing as well is obviously the interiors of these cars. Now, Audi are amazing at what they do. I mean, the way the Audi interiors have kind of evolved over the last, few years has been absolutely ridiculous. What they've done with virtual cockpit is transformed the kind of interior game, and now the likes of Mercedes and BMW are all chasing to deliver such an incredible kind of visual. To have that Google Earth view right in front of you almost feels like, well, that you've got a drone following you. So what I want to do now, I want to kind of test what the 0 to 60 time would be like, because I did say it's 5.2 seconds. So we've got a quiet stretch of road, and I'm going to put it into dynamic. entry-level TT banging out 0 to 60 time in 5.2 seconds. That's incredibly cool. Now, and you think that the S model, I think the S is 4 point something, 4.4, and the RS is 3.9 or something silly like that. And that's prior to any form of tuning as well. The other thing with the Audi TT is that, as with most of the Audis, you get the different drive select modes. So you've got the choice between efficiency, comfort, auto, and dynamic. And when you're in comfort mode, steering wheel's a lot lighter, the suspension feels a lot softer. There's a little bit more roll on the car, but arguably it's more forgiving over the speed bumps. But right now that I've just entered a national speed limit, we'll go straight into dynamic, and the steering wheel tightens up a bit. You get the exhaust noises once the car is in dynamic. In comfort, you don't hear it as much. But it feels like the suspension's firmed up. We're about to kind of attack a couple of twisty corners now, and we'll see what it's like, what it's capable from a handling perspective. I tell you what, for a car that you can buy straight out of the box and still have two models in front of it, it does a flipping good job. Takes corners well. It is a barrel of laughs, and I think as an all-round car where you don't want to spend too much money, because TTRSs are sky high. They're expensive cars. They're a lot more juicy as well. You want something that kind of fits in the middle, which will give you just enough amount of fun to kind of put that grin on your face, just about enough naughtiness to probe you into throwing it around a corner, yet still being civil. I think then the Audi 2-litre TFSI 45 is a great choice. That S-tronic gearbox is great, and of course you've got the option of going from drive, one click down into sport, you slap to the right and you're in manual. It's a great gearbox. I mean, I'm not going to talk about this because if you're watching this, you've probably watched a whole load of Audi videos in the past, and you know how good that S-tronic gearbox is. I genuinely, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because this is an Audi press car and people will think, oh, you're going to give a positive review. I mean, there are things that I don't like about it. I've said I'm a bit hit and miss with the colour, and I think it is quite a bit of money. But I think what you find nowadays, I think most cars will cost you quite a bit of money. I love the fact that Audi have kept this area very flush. They integrate buttons into the air vents, which is such a great idea. I mean, just the creation of these, look at the stitching, the fact that they're Alcantara with white stitching, leather, it just looks glorious. And I think that, yeah, these are winners, man. Like, no nonsense. So I guess, what's my final thoughts? What do I think of this model Audi TT? I think they've got so much from what is effectively the entry-level TT, when you really think about it. I think they've done a really, really good job with the styling. I think it just looks great. Would I buy one personally? No. But the only reason I wouldn't buy one is because if I did, I'd be left wanting more. I'd be left wanting either an S. In fact, to be fair, I wouldn't even buy an S because I would be left wanting the RS. So I would buy a TT, but the one that I would buy would be the RS. Because I would already be doing silly speeds right there. And for someone like me that just has a real appetite for speed and hooliganism, the TTRS is what fits my box. But there'll be a lot of people, a huge consumer base that will snap this car up because it literally ticks all the boxes. I think the only challenge is rear boot rear seat space. It is a bit of a stretch. I think if you've got the kids, it's fine. And it's a lot of car for the money, and I think Audi have done a great job with it. But anyway, I'm going to end the video here, guys. I think a massive thank you to Audi UK for providing me with this car. It's very, very nice, and hopefully I'll be doing more stuff with Audi in the future. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe for plenty of automotive content. My name is Stef. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very soon on the next one. See you later. Bye bye.